Hello, everybody. This is Ross from Church Windows, and we're going to get started on today's webinar. Today's webinar is entitled Batch Options, and it's basically I'm going to walk you through a few different options and features that you can do with a batch or while you're entering donations. So let's get in there. Click on Enter Donations. The first thing you have to do is enter a date, so I'll just put in yesterday's date. A feature that isn't commonly used, because I don't know, I think mainly because a lot of people aren't aware of what it is for exactly, is this batch code field right here. What it does is it essentially allows you to sort out different donation entries with different descriptions. Like, for example, if you have two different services on Sunday, say a 9 a.m. and a 10:30, this allows you to enter all the donations for that particular day on the same date, but using the batch codes of 9 or say 10:30. This allows you to keep track of how much you received from just that particular service. It can also be used to for other days or different types of donations. So if you want to specify a batch was all online giving, or say all checks or all cash, if you guys split it up that way, you can. I think most commonly it's used for different services on the same day. So let's just select one of those. Let me just enter in a couple of donations here real quick. All right, so I'm using the batch code of early for the 9 o'clock service. At the bottom here, you can see it says unposted donation batch, and then that 2 is how many donations have been entered into that batch. And then after that, it has the batch code and then the date of that particular batch we're working on. From here, you have a couple options. Like, say if this is you had 2 donations, you can post it right away to apply it to their accounts, or if you want to print some reports before posting it, you have a few different options. Here on the right, you have the detail and the account tabs. If you want to see how many, or if you have detail, it'll basically sort by person. And then if you click on account, it shows you how much has gone to each account. So have details selected and go down here and click print. You have an additional 2 options. If you click show detail, and then click print, it will give you a report that breaks down the giver, and then their check number and the amount they gave and what accounts they gave to, and comments and things like that. And then at the top here, you see it says unposted. These particular reports are good for if you want to do a quick double check of all the donations you've entered, versus if you have a running list outside of Church Windows, just to make sure that you've entered everything in correctly. And you can make corrections if you notice a mistake between the 2. You can also print and do hide detail. And what that does is that just gives you a quick rundown of person and the total given for that. So if you're just interested in how much each person gave, not what account they gave to and everything. The account tab is a similar type of information, but instead of by person, it does it by account. So if I click print and show detail, and then click print, you can see it's sorting by the account here. So your account that it gave to, and then the givers here. And all these reports have a summary section at the bottom that gives you the total number of transactions and the total amount and everything, and who the user is. Click print, hide detail. I'll click the print button. And then this just gives you the account and the total for each account that was given to in this particular batch. And say you're entering your batch, but you get interrupted, you need to go run a report in membership, or you have to leave and come back later. An option you have with batches and enter donations is the save batch function. This allows you to save it and you can come back at a later time. So if I click save batch, it says batch was saved successfully. If I close out of enter donations and donations and say, I come back the next day, I can just go back into donations. And if I click on enter donations, I'll get a little pop-up screen that says, unposted batches for, and then universal logon is just the name of my logon. For you guys, it would be, whatever your name is for your particular login. And I'll see that particular batch that I've saved, has the 2 entries I entered. So say I want to continue working on that, I can select it so it's highlighted, and then click edit batch. And then I can continue to enter donations towards that particular batch here. Click done at a batch, and what you can do is, say you've been entering donations and you see that you've made a mistake on one of these batches or one of these donations here below. You have the option, you can either remove that particular donation entirely by clicking on the remove button here, or if you just see you have a correction you need to make, say this Penny Morris donation should have gone to instead of 109, it should have gone to, say, the general fund or something. You can click edit and it brings it back up here. You can go up to top and make any changes you need to make, and then add it back to the batch. When you're done with a particular batch, you can just when you're done with a particular batch, or you need to, you can just click post or post and transfer. The difference between the two is really minimal. The only difference between the two is the post and transfer will open up the transfer donations to accounting screen. It won't actually transfer it over to accounting. You still have to do those steps on that particular screen. So let me just click post here. And this particular window will pop up asking, basically, those donations were posted. Do you want to print another report for that? You can, if you don't want it to ask you if you want to print a report, if you're not interested in printing, if you uncheck this right here, it will no longer bring up this screen. It will just post the donations. And then once you posted a particular batch, you can then go on. It'll clear out the enter donation screen, and you can start entering in your next batch. So say we just did the 9 o'clock. Now we do the 10:30. So I select it from the drop down here. If you have, obviously your guys' options will be different, or your each individual church has their own service times and everything. If you want to add new batch codes, you click on this plus sign right here, and you click on that. It'll bring up the batch codes window, and this will allow you to enter in new codes. So for this one, let's go call it noon, and description of noon service, and then you click add, and then that adds it to the list, and then you can click OK. So that one's now selected after you add it. So I'm going to enter in a couple more donations. So I just click on the drop down, and I'm just going to select a couple random people here. Put in the amount. And then go down here and choose the account. And then click Done Add to Batch to add it to the bottom. And just do that a couple more times. Okay. So yeah, once I have the donations added, again, you can see that I have 3 donations in this particular batch, noon service, and that date. And this happens every once in a while. Say, if you go down to click Save Batch, but you accidentally click Post, it will post those donations and will clear out this enter donation screen. But you don't have to. But say you have more donations that you need to enter for that day and for that batch, you don't have to reverse the existing batch or anything like that, and re-enter everything. All you have to do is just still on this enter donation screen, you can select that date and select that batch code, and you can enter in the rest of your donations like normal. After you post this, they'll all be grouped together under the same batch and everything like that. Same day, same batch code. That's really the 2 things Church Windows looks at when it's combining batches. So you don't have to worry about reversing an incomplete batch, essentially. So let me just enter in another donation to show you. Click Done Add to Batch. So this batch that I posted after, that I'm entering after posting that previous one, you can see it's still going to the same batch code, same day. So now if let me click Post and Transfer to show you what that screen looks like. So when I clicked Post and Transfer, it opened up the Transfer Donations to Accounting tab. And then I clicked this Use Batch Code checkbox here. And what that does is that separates out the different batches on this screen that you can then post over. But if you notice now, even though I entered in I posted 2 separate batches that had the batch code of noon, it's all combined onto one line item. We don't have 2 separate noon batch codes. So essentially, entering the donations again after posting, to continue on with that batch is essentially another way to is an alternative to saving the batch, because you don't need to, if you're saving a batch because you need to come back to it later, that's fine. You're totally within your rights to do that. It's just kind of a matter of preference. If you want to save a batch and come to it later, or you can post what you've done now and then come back at a later time and finish posting the rest of the donations. And then from here, say after you've entered in all your donations, you realize you do want to, and you've posted it, and you do want to print out a batch report for that particular day. You can go, instead of clicking on enter donations, at the top of the screen, you can click on posted batches, and that'll bring up a screen of shows you all the different donations you've posted this year. If we scroll down, we'll see that the 2 different batch codes that I've used are here split up on their own lines. So I can select them, and I can reverse them if I need to, or you can correct it. And to correct a batch, say you accidentally used the wrong batch code, it should, instead of noon, it should have been the 10:30 service. I can just go and select the 10:30 and click OK, and that reverses all the donations in there and gives it the proper batch code. So now it has the late service instead of the noon service on it. Right. That was a quick little webinar. Looks like we finished up a couple minutes early. That's really all I had for you today. Does anybody have any questions about this? And Marsha, I saw that note, and hopefully the second time around went a little bit slower for you. Good, good. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions pop in. Let's give it another few seconds to have that pop in. This particular webinar has been recorded, and it will be posted online. It should be up by the end of the week on our YouTube page and our support blog on our website if you want to review it again. All the webinars we do all get posted on the website and the YouTube page if you ever want to go and review those. All right, looks like we got no questions coming in, so I'm just going to stop here. Everybody have a good week and a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.